My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And OddsJam. OddsJam.com has the fastest real-time data between all of the sports books, which helps you spot discrepancies and place risk-free bets. Check them out now at oddsjam.com. Every single fight, all of the odds from all of your favorite sports books. And that takes us to Paddy Pimblett in the feature fight of the evening.
We don't get
in the feature fight of the evening, Paddy Pimblett is taking on Rodrigo Vargas. I never understand why half the books and websites have him listed as Kazula. His name is Rodrigo. I don't know why when they decide to use a nickname as a first name and when they don't. Anyway, Rodrigo Vargas is 12-4 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a solid win where, like this fight, he was a very big underdog. Paddy Pimblett, 17-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a very successful UFC debut. Paddy Pimblett, he's a hot prospect. He's coming off a very fun win in that UFC debut. He's a pretty well-rounded guy. He has solid experience despite this being only his second UFC fight. He is very hittable. We said he was hittable before his last fight, and his last fight just affirmed what we were saying. He's got solid striking offense. His defense obviously needs some work. He's a very smooth grappler. He flows really well on the ground, and he really does have the tools to be the next big thing if he just makes a few tweaks here and there. Rodrigo Vargas is a fun and wild striker. He's coming off a really nice win over Zhu Rong, where he was taken down 3 times, but still more than doubled Zhu's strikes. He likes to come forward and throw heavy strikes at a high pace, but he isn't just a wild striker. He has solid takedowns, solid BJJ. He's listed at 12-4, but one of those losses was because of an illegal knee, so he's really 12-3. Paddy is a prospect, and the UFC definitely wants him to be a star, but he is freaking hittable. In his last fight, the first thing Michael Bisping said to him in the cage interview was, "You were almost knocked out," which he was. So you can't just look at Tapology. You can't just look at Tapology, see, oh, Paddy Pimblett won by first round knockout, and assume that he blew through Luigi Vendramini in that fight, because he did not. After that fight, I did a recap video, and I literally said, I am going to fade Paddy against any solid striker. And I think Rodrigo is a solid striker. I think Rodrigo hits harder than Paddy. I think he's far less hittable than Paddy is. My only concern here is that while Vargas is capable on the ground, I think Paddy is much smoother and could potentially submit him. But if Paddy stands and trades strike for strike with Rodrigo Vargas, I think his chin is going to get touched, and I'm not sure if it's going to hold up. Rodrigo Vargas is a much more dangerous striker than Luigi Vendramini was, and I'm really torn here. I really want to pick Rodrigo. I don't know if it's because I'm just like, Paddy's hittable, and I said I wouldn't pick him again.
Then just pick him. You've been soft the entire card. Just pick him. Just pick him.
Jesus Christ. Mute you. Be done with it. The show is easier with solo anyway, frankly. Anyway, Rodrigo, I think he hits harder. I think he's faster. He's definitely the better striker. And, I got into a lot of arguments with people because I did pick Rodrigo. I'm picking Rodrigo now. I picked him earlier in the week. And a lot of the people arguing that, Rodrigo sucks and this and that. Here's the quick breakdown before I let Jacob go. The reality is, Luigi Vendramini almost knocked out Paddy Pimblett cold. And the only reason he didn't knock him out is because he decided to shoot a takedown like an idiot. If he doesn't shoot that takedown, he stops Paddy Pimblett. Rodrigo Vargas is a better striker than Paddy Pimblett is. So I think it's this simple. I'm picking Rodrigo. I think Paddy's going to stand. He's in his hometown. He wants to put on a show. If Paddy Pimblett grapples, he wins. If he strikes, he loses. I think he's going to strike. I like Rodrigo Vargas as an underdog. Why don't you give us your amazing insight, Jacob? And then I could rattle off your freaking win record for the year, and then we'll see how good your insight is. Muppet.
Look how fired up he is, guys. Holy cow. Look at that. He's trying with the personal tax. That's crazy. Paddy's going to absolutely dominate this matchup. The UFC set this up because they realized after that last fight, whoops, we almost really messed up this prospect. They tried to give him a big underdog the last fight. He did get hit. You say he almost got finished or whatever. He was never even out of it. He got hit and was stunned, but he was still fighting back. He was never eyes glassed over, didn't know what he was doing.
If
he was
Luigi
in a perfect situation where he was still defending,
takedown,
and he came back in that situation and won the fight because he was never out of the fight mentally. And this matchup, it's going to be the grappling is where you're going to win. Just grapple him, you're going to win very easily. If you want to strike, this probably is the guy that you can strike with, because if you watch that Zhu Rong fight with Rodrigo in his last fight, he was hitting Zhu Rong clean. I mean, was coming across, overhand right, just hitting him clean, and Zhu Rong was just like, all right. I mean, he was not affected. You talk about the power. He doesn't really have like this huge knockout power. He has knockouts, but I don't think he has knockout powers. Paddy's going to clean up the striking. I think that he just goes straight to the wrestling in this matchup, doesn't mess around with it, and just absolutely dominates this matchup. So I don't see it. I mean, there's a reason he's a big favorite. You want to play the opposite. I think you picked against Paddy in the last fight too. It worked out well for you. I'm Paddy all the way.
No, I picked Paddy in the last fight.
Almost. Yeah.
No, but I straight up, I picked Paddy to win the last fight. My whole breakdown was I'm buying the hype. I believe it. I'm picking Paddy. He's hittable, but Luigi's not a great striker. And listen, let's be honest. First of all, somebody in the chat called me fat. You're banned. Bye, dork. Second of all, I think if you look at that last fight, Luigi Vendramin had him rocked big time. And the only reason he didn't stop Paddy is because he shot a takedown. Would you agree that if he just kept firing punches, he could have gotten a stoppage there? He shot a takedown and
Paddy was never just shelled up, just like hurt. He got rocked and he got out of this situation. He still was coherent. He knew what was going on, and that's why he ended up winning the fight. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus is right. Jesus is right.
And he's got the good karma because he stood up against that coward Ilya Taporia and his whole crew, and he's got the Ryan Hall blessing now. So Ryan Hall is in Paddy. He's going to get the submission win. Ryan Hall is in Paddy.
Listen, I think it's literally as simple as if Paddy grapples, he wins. I think it's literally that simple. So, there's a very clear path. I'm not saying that Rodrigo Vargas smokes Paddy, but if Paddy strikes with a guy who hits as hard as Rodrigo Vargas, who is as willing and as dangerous to trade as Rodrigo Vargas is, Paddy is not going to be as lucky as he was in his last fight. You and I talked about this off camera earlier in the week. Hopefully, Paddy is going to make the right decisions. He knows what he is. He knows what he isn't. And he'll probably look to grapple and grapple quickly here. And if he does, it's his fight. He's going to look smooth as hell. And it's a loss for me as far as picks are concerned. But if he strikes, I think he's in a little bit of trouble. And that is the reason I like Rodrigo Vargas here. We've got $9,400 to $6,800. With that being said, I'm not spending the $6,800 because, all Paddy needs to do is grapple, and I don't think he's stupid enough to try to swing it out again after what happened last time. I think he was just as nervous last time. I mean, freaking Michael Bisping, the first thing he said to him is, "You were almost knocked out." So
we don't obviously get knocked
out. That obviously stuck with him. So hopefully he doesn't try to put on a show, and we'll see what happens.
I hope he's improving his English. Honestly, because he's going to win. It's going to be a great post-fight interview. I just hope he's improving his English. He's getting better, but I hope he gets a little bit better. It is crazy how hard that accent is to understand. They have like the crazy. I was watching because he has like those embedded videos that literally shows like him going through training camp and stuff, and he'll have a whole conversation. I'm like, what the hell did he just say? I have no idea what he just said.
What do you think the $9,400 is worth it?
Yeah, he's going to be in my lineup for sure.
And because of a submission or a TKO? I mean, he's not going to TKO him on his feet.
I mean, he's got the power. I just don't think Rodrigo's that. Obviously, anything can happen. I could look stupid. But
he's Mexican tough, man. That chin. He's going to come forward. Nothing's going to stop that guy. Not his feet.
But I think the pack that I think on the feet is not where Paddy wants to win. I mean, maybe he does, but I think he gets it to the ground and just shows the grappling. Kind of like we saw what's his name that just lost T-Rex. So in his debut, he got that early knockout, right? And in the second fight, it was a kind of a weird situation, but he showed off his grappling in that second fight. Obviously, he didn't shoot a takedown or anything, but he was able to. I think it's the same thing here. Paddy got the knockout in his debut. Okay, let me show what I really do in my fights.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're a little split here, but I want to be clear. This is not like biggest miss, blah, blah, blah. I'm not putting money on Rodrigo Vargas.
You're not going to make him a lock. It's not a lock.
No, I don't do lock of the weeks. I leave that for, you let the ladies have their thing.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly.
Monkey knife fight. Man, I don't know. I don't know what to do with monkey knife fight. What do you think with monkey knife fight? It's probably honestly, more and more. I think it's war-ish.
I think Paddy has an opportunity to finish this early. I would. If he uses grappling, this is going to be a less for sure. He's so slick with his jiu-jitsu and everything else, man. Once he gets on the ground, he is looking for a finish right then and there.
Yeah, I guess we will see what happens. And if you want to see what happens to your wallet after you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, we send you $50. So go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, let me know after you do, and we send you $50 as a thank you for supporting us and our partners.